Hello, this is a quick video on painting a dramatic sky in Swanage in lovely Dorset. So we get straight down to it. Here's the image I'll be working from, and the very first thing we'll do is put in the white highlights in the town. So we'll get straight down to it. And these dashes of sparkling light here are the picture, really. They're if they don't work, the picture doesn't work, essentially. I will get those established absolutely first thing, in a pretty simple manner, really, as there's no and I'll literally surround these white accents with my initial dark. And there's very little. Some people might say that oh, the sky is the subject, but even though it's mostly sky, it isn't really. It's the lighting on the town that's the picture. So I would feel, anyway, whether I'm right or not is another matter, that's the important thing. So get it in first and build the picture around your subject. And we don't need to know a huge amount about this, but I just want to get in enough so I can come back and refine it later. Okay, I think that'll do us for now on that. So the next thing is the main event. It's a good idea, and you see me putting this blue in, not to make your blues too vibrant. And now I've got this dark here against the and I need to have this tone right. So because I put my dark in first, you can see there that I can judge pretty easily, and I can see that I have pretty much the right mix of colours and tones in there. And again, I'm trying not to get my colours too vibrant. And I'm trying to get little variations of hue in at the same time. Then the next area here, I will actually put solid white in initially, because it's a great deal easier to darken light than it is to light dark. I'm not worrying about retaining any of the very bright highlights, because they will go in as bright highlights. Okay, so I can see a couple of tonal errors. One, my initial blue up there is a little bit too light, just by brushing raw colour in. So again, I'm mixing on the canvas here. My next move is this sea, which is a hell of a colour with the storm coming in. That might have to go darker. And now, a fiddly bit, I will get rid of all of the last of the pink. Exactly how much I define this is I'm not decided, really. Okay, so exoticus. Next is to do some drawing on the town itself. Our initial darks have pretty much dried while we've been working away at that sky, and now I can start to see my tones are not too far away. They're pretty good. And now, because this is in the studio, I'll break now and let my underpainting, my block-in, set off a little bit. If I was on location, I would have to soldier on, but because it's in the studio, I can pause and do the next stage tomorrow. Okay, so it's next day. It's all softened up a bit. So I can start to refine the whole thing, and I'll start with our sky and clean the colours a little bit And I don't stir it in. I apply a brush stroke and I leave it. And I'm now paying much more attention to my original. And this process is there's a fair bit of taking stuff out. So there's some some edges I want to lose and so forth. And I also begin to get little pools of colour that I can dip into. Again, I'm careful not to stir the paint around too much, though because I have the thick white in there, I can very easily soften, so I can brush areas together. But it needs quite a gentle touch, and this is an important bit that I left out in the block in because it's a lot easier to do at this stage, which is the see-through to the sky in the background there. We've nearly taken the sky another step forwards. I just want to get rid of the last of the hardish edges here, and I'll do that quite softly. I've got crows outside fighting, which is what the noise is. We're having a crow discussion, or sounds like a crow disagreement out there. And now I do a process which I sort of call, it's just essentially taking out the marks I don't like. Because I'm not necessarily trying to copy the reference sky. I mostly want the feel of it, rather than an exact copy. And I'm being careful not to put anything too light in, because I need to keep my powder dry for the final touches. Okay, so the next thing is to get our sea sorted, and I don't really want the colour to be competing too much with the sky. I have to have quite a careful join here, so we want to clean this join up. And finally, we need to establish the tone and colour of these highlights and stuff. A final zip along this edge to make a little bit more of it. I tend to overpaint and then come back and then soften. I'm using a rigger here, and I change the colour, and then I refine. I'm just looking all the time for little accents. So this is a very important highlight. It's a very fine highlight, but a very, very important one, and it needs to go on in impasto again. So there's an actual bead of paint, and you definitely won't get along it in one go. And I think that's gone far enough. Right, so we're down to the finishing touches now. I need to do the darks in the sea, which to give it some structure, just a few flicks here and there, and they're mainly to define the surface of the water. My instinct usually is to put a little bit too much in, and then blur it off afterwards. So we don't have very much more to do. The next really important thing, which requires a very clean brush, is to put the final highlights on the clouds. Because we brushed into all of our white, we now have sort of headroom to put a final highlight on. And I'm just defining a few edges. Okay, I think we'll say that sky's done. So the last thing to do, which what we call a halt, is we've got some warmer browny colours in here. And there we're going to help. I hope that was helpful. Oh, I've forgotten a bit. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Just a few little bits. We haven't got all of our pier. Wouldn't do to not have all the bits of your pier, would it? And that's it. I hope that was of interest and helpful. Thank you very much.